Minister. My name is Marie-Denise Pelletier. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm also the president of the Société de gestion collective de l'Union des artistes. I am not here this afternoon to talk to you about technical aspects of the Act. I'm sure others will do a much better job than I. I'm here to tell you about the consequences of a bad act on creators and on the music industry generally. 12 years ago, approximately, I was asked to defend the status of composers in Ottawa, and it took me 10 years to convince different governments that it was a good thing for society to recognize the value of creation work of performers. We were listened to, we were heard, and that's what I'm hoping for today, that we be heard, that we be listened to. Canada ratified the Rome Convention, and we got neighboring rights. At the same time, we convinced the governments that the private copyright could create fair dealings for all copies that people made of our music. This system of private copying means that no matter what you do with the movie you've copied, there's royalties are made on the media used, for instance, cassettes and CDs. The royalties are used to pay the creators of this music for this use of their work. But the problem that we have currently is that today music is copied less and less on this media support. Audio digital, such as MP3s and iPod, have taken over. Now, the problem with those forms of media is that they are not under the Act. They don't come under the Act, so no royalties come from them. And if there are no royalties from these media that people are using and have been using now, soon there will be no royalties on private copy given to the creators of music. When the government introduced Bill C-61, no amendments were made to include these media for royalties. And this means that this private copy scheme will die soon. There's a huge transformation occurring right now of the music industry throughout the world. You just have to press on a computer button now to have free access to almost all the music repertoire existing on the planet. In this ever-changing world, we need more than ever that the government help us, we, the singers and songwriters, to protect our rights. All the more so because in Quebec, the situation is even more alarming given the narrowness of our market. I think that currently the government wants to do the reverse. They seem to want to liberalize everything, to go on that side, particularly all the people who make these new forms of media. Do you know that in my iPod, sorry, could you conclude, please? Well, this is important because you'll understand. In an iPod, there are 60 licenses that Apple has to pay to the people who've made this device. And I'm sure that they're expensive. However, for the very reason these iPods exist, i.e. the music, there is nothing is paid. So I have a bit of difficulty understanding that the government is giving the priority to the content, to the form rather than the content. Is this without, what's important is the recognition of our work and our salary that has been taken away because of this royalty issue. These are millions of dollars that we're using every year, but they're not millions of dollars that are spread into three pockets. They're groups of creators, and this is the difference between living from your artistic work or not. And so I hope it's clear for the people in the government that a creator who creates and who lives from their music and their creation this is redistributed throughout society, and everyone will be able to profit from this. Thank you very much, Ms. Pelletier. Perhaps we'll be able to give you the floor once again in a few minutes. Nicole?
I will read a comment from Oshawa, Mike from Oshawa.
The posted submissions on the Industry Canada website, with the exception of 1 or 2 submissions. The overwhelming theme is that any prohibition of circumvention devices must be directly linked to a copyright violation. Example, a very small minority of citizens, experts, scholars that support a blanket ban of circumvention devices. It has become increasingly evident that in order to protect against digital right management misuse, citizens must make use of circumvention devices for reasons of fair dealing, privacy, and research, among others. Leading me to my question, will this government take a leading role and be one of the first to take the necessary step of allowing circumvention devices only when used for a clear violation of the Copyright Act?
Merci, Nicole. Le micro numéro 3.